Okay, everybody, I would like to talk again today about the Apocrypha adventure card game. This is the print and play version that you can find on the Kickstarter page. I cut these out myself, so of course the cards look horrible. This is in no way what the final game will look like, I'm absolutely sure. And of course the final game will also have full graphics. So this is just basically to play through a mission called Christmas in Candlepoint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first construct the character decks for my two player characters, the saints that I have chosen. I've chosen them randomly, actually. These were the first two that I cut out. Diana Jones, who's a gambler, and Dr. Z's, who's an unlicensed necrosurgeon. Now, how do we construct a saints deck? So what we do is we look at each character and we look at their four stats: soul, rage, mind, and body. And behind each of these we find a number. So for Diana, she has soul 4, which means we add 4 cards from the soul gift deck to her. So I'm just going to give this a quick shuffle. And again, this was printed out on normal paper, so this is not really shuffling very well. And also I'm doing this for demonstration purposes and to get a feeling for the game. So this doesn't really have to be as rigorous as you would do it if this was a real game. So first we're going to draw 4 soul cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's look at what we've got. We got the soul gift lucky numbers. We've got the soul gift sparks. We've got the soul gift love battery, and we've got the soul gift keyhole necklace. So we're going to put these to one side. Then we're going to look at her body gifts. She gets 2 because her body stat is 2. So I'm also going to give this deck of cards a quick shuffle. And we draw 2 cards for the body. And she gets the body gift prowess. And she gets the body gift trauma kit. Put these to one side. Next, we take the mind stack, and it doesn't really make any difference in which order you do this because obviously you're going to shuffle this in later on. So we're now at mind. She gets 3 of those. 1, 2, 3, just pulling them out randomly from within the deck and from the top and from the bottom to make sure that this is really random. And she gets the mind gift memory killer. She gets the mind gift charlatan's book, and she gets the mind gift scrapbook. So we put those aside, and lastly she gets 2 rage gifts. Again, shuffle, shuffle, and she gets a bath salt shaker and a bomb. So we put these aside. Next up, she gets a and now it's interesting because the next point in the rule book says she gets an additional number of those cards equal to the dice of those types on her fragments. Now, she doesn't have any fragments, so this doesn't really apply. Or if she was going to get fragments, then I'm unclear as to where she gets them from, because there are cards that look like fragments, but they don't have any dice on them. Again, this is the print and play version. A number of random omens equal to the number of white dice on your saint and on your fragments. So now, on this saint, there are no dice, no white dice. However, there are no dice at all, actually. However, there are 3 words: conjure, hack, and sense. Now, I have seen a picture of Dr. Z's, and that seems to be the final card art, where actually there are white dice, and they seem to represent, you know, conjure, hack, sense, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to count these numbers and add them together. Conjure is 1, hack is 1, and sense equals 2, so that equals 4 altogether. So I'm just going to get 4 seriously random omens. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, this is just for demonstration purposes, so you know, the randomness, we don't really need to exaggerate the randomness in this one. And lastly, yeah, and that's all there is to it. And if you have any fragments, arrange them in a position, in any position in a 3x3 halo around your saint. We do not have any fragments at this stage. So now Diana Jones has a deck that consists of 8, 11, 12, 13, 15 cards altogether, which we will shuffle later on. And now we're going to go through the same procedure for her colleague Dr. Z's, who gets 4 mind gifts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I actually got the same one twice. So I tweaked it there a little because I would like to see as many as possible in gameplay to get a feeling for the game. So again, this is for demonstration purposes. So he's got 4 mind gifts. He needs 2 body gifts. 1 and 2. He needs 3 soul gifts. 1, 2, 3. And he gets 2 rage gifts. 1, 2. And last but not least, he gets study 1, sense 1, resist 1, hack 1 equals 4 white dice. So he gets 1, 2, 3, 4 omens. We put them in here. And his deck is also done now. So it's very good. So that was the deck building for the characters. So I'm just going to put these together and to one side. So we're going to put them over here. And next up, we need to look into how we are going to build the nexuses. Now, I've got 2 characters, 2 saints. So we look at the mission Christmas in Candlepoint. And it says here that the true threats are 1 master, the griller. This is this card. And 1 minion, a Yule cat, and all other minions are Yule lads. Now, first we say how many saints we're playing with. 2, so it means we get 3 nexuses to fill. So let's see, where did I put my nexuses? Now, since the nexuses come double-sided, I actually sleeved them to make it easier for me to play. So we need the strip mall. We need the chapel. And we need the hospital. Here we go. So now we look at how to fill these nexuses. So now we need to build a location deck. So I'm just going to refer to it as a location deck because nexus, I'm a non-native speaker of English. For me, nexus means nothing. It's one of those words like the matrix, which, you know, unless you're talking about mathematics, matrix means very little. So first of all, we're going to build the hospital. And again, what we do is we look at, let's order them alphabetically, B, M, R, and S. So we draw blindly. So here we have mind gifts. So here we have body gifts, mind gifts, rage gifts, and soul gifts. So the Nexus Hospital gets 2 minds. Just draw them from the top. Body 2. 1 soul. And of course, normally you would do this blindly. Gets 1 omen. We just draw 1 omen. And it gets 2 threats. So basically 2 enemies. So this is a new deck, which we haven't touched yet because threats are not part of the character decks. So just draw draw two of those. And of course, then later on, we will have to shuffle this nexus. And we put this to one side. So this is the Nexus Hospital deck. Now, we're not quite done with this Nexus deck. We need to do one more thing later. But first, let's look at the chapel. 0 mind, 1 body, 3 soul gifts. 1, 2, 3. 0 rage, 2 threats, and 2 omens. 1, 2. Put this to one side. Lastly, we have the strip mall, 1 mind. And usually how this works in Pathfinder, the adventure card game, is you have all of these in a box and all of these are in different compartments. And you basically, after a while, you get used to where each of them is and you can draw them blindly. Body, mind, 0 soul, 3 rage, 1, 2, 3 threats, 1, 2, 3. So this is the strip mall done. But now we need to look at our arch nemesis. You know, these are the baddies that we need to put in here. Now, this is where it gets interesting. We need to now make a stack of master archetypes equal to the number of masters listed on the mission. Now, the mission has 1 master. So we pull out 1 master archetype card. That's this one here. Then a number of minion archetypes equal to the number of true threats on the nexuses minus the number of masters. So, there are basically, okay, there is no number of true threat cards on the Nexus lists. So we have 1 minion, which is a Yule card, a Yule cat, sorry, minion type A. And then we have 1 more Nexus left because obviously we play with 3 Nexuses. So we choose 1 minion type B. We put these all together, and this is very important. You shuffle these so that you don't know where the different archetypes are, and then you just put them into each. One goes into each Nexus deck, and this is very important because they become your enemy as well. And in the end, the game is over and you win if you manage to defeat the master archetype. But for this, of course, it would be great if you knew where he was, which of course you don't because it's all secret. So this is essentially how you create the decks. Once I've put them together, what I do is I usually just give them one really good shuffle. And I'm going to do this off camera. You just have to trust me that I will shuffle this because although I'm doing this also to demonstrate gameplay, I also want to enjoy myself. Now this was actually the less difficult part. The more difficult part happens. Oh yeah, there's one more thing that I forgot. We need to create an omen deck as well. Sorry about that. Create an omen deck out of 30 random omens. Start with the number of omens of doom equal to 10 plus the total number of non-white memory fragments. We don't have those. Okay, so let's take 10 omens of doom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 omens of doom. And the rest, we just shuffle them together completely randomly, so that we have the good ones in with the bad ones, the omens of doom together with the omens of hope. and we need to get 30 altogether. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, we're missing 5 Doom cards because obviously we had to stick some into the nexuses. Okay, never mind. I do have Doom cards left that I can just cut out, so I will just add them. They're in black and white, so when we do the playthrough, then these will look a little boring, but you know, this is a print and play version, so I think we can accept that. So now we've got different card stacks. I'm just going to show them to you once more. You have to keep them separate, obviously. So you have your 3 nexuses, 1, 2, 3. You have 2 decks, 1 for each player, or 1 for each saint rather. There will only be 1 player, that's me, but 2 saints, 2 characters. And then you have the Omen track, which is basically our timer, and I need to add 5 to this. These go back in the box, we don't need those. Once you run into one of the archetypes in the Nexus, you have to reference the card that actually represents their character. This card is actually placed, well, we can place it next to the mission, for example. So they're always face up. You will always know what you need to do when you confront one of these. So next round will be very interesting because we will see how this game actually works. So first of all, I have to find enough D6s, and then I'll have to get my head around how to play cards, and I will do this together with you. So this will be a game of exploration for anyone who's interested, and until then I wish you a pleasant evening. Keep gaming. If you find this even remotely interesting, I suggest you check out the website apocryphagame.com, and if you are convinced by what you see, you I believe can still pledge for this game. Keep gaming. Bye bye.